Hi, it's Philip Shum here from the CSE. I'm the Director of Listings Development. I'm here today for a newly listed on the CSE with Scott Montgomery, who is the CEO of WellteQ Digital Health. Welcome, Scott.
Great to be here, Phil. Thanks for having us. Looking forward to talking to you.
Now, you just listed on Tuesday, March 24th, I believe it was, and the ticker symbol is WTEQ on the CSE. Let's get right into it. Maybe you do us a favor and tell us a bit about the company and what the company does.
Yeah, sure. Look, easy to do. We're a very simple digital proposition. So we're a B2B digital health platform. Our customers are large employers and insurance companies at the moment. So we bring technology to employers to help their employees become more healthy and less costly. And we do the same thing for insurance companies. We help insurance companies get their policyholders more healthy and less costly. And we do that through a smartphone application linking wearables and digital health coaching. Now,
you are incorporated in BC, but the majority of your jurisdiction is in Asia. That's correct, right?
Yeah, look, this has been the playground for us over the last 7 years, where we've got a proposition across over 30 countries, but our hub has been Asia Pacific for that time, where we're sort of multi-industry, but yeah, the geographies that we've operated in to date have been across Asia Pacific and now expanding outward.
Okay, and so why did you choose to go public and access the public markets?
Look, I think there's a few things at play here, and they all sort of coerce together in this perfect storm. So you've got at this time where health systems are not working, they're unsustainable, they're too costly, and the biggest strain on these systems is preventable behavior-related illness. So lack of sleep, lack of activity, poor dietary control, and mindset and mental health behavior-related issues. So what we've done across Asia Pacific is we've managed to, and we've kind of been forced into localization, personalization, because from Singapore, where I've lived the last 7 years, I go 20 minutes this way and I have a totally new culture and language. I go 20 minutes that way and I've gone from Malaysia via Singapore to Indonesia. So our ability to diversify and to be inclusive to cultures and different audiences has led us to expand across Asia Pacific. And so to come to the public markets has enabled us more visibility, certainly more capital, and it's the perfect launch pad for us to expand outwards into the biggest markets in the world and North America and the UK.
Okay, that's great. So tell the viewers about your team and maybe some of the expertise that you have in the sector then.
Yeah, you have to have a little bit of luck to pull your team together, but we've kept very carefully selected and now worked with the majority of our team for a number of years. In our management team, we've got myself and my COO who have worked together for well over the last 10 years. So my last company, we built that to be one of Australia and New Zealand's largest workplace health companies. So we've got a great operating rhythm. He comes from a semi-professional athletic background. Our chief product officer has a very unique blend of understanding risk from a credit risk profiling background, loyalty, working for GE in the UK, but ultimately we're a data-driven product. And so we have a data scientist heading our product, and that's exactly what Andrew is. From a technology perspective, our CTO, Daniel, has a very unique architectural mind and background in software and hardware design and delivery. So really cutting edge, almost bleeding edge hardware and software. And then we've rounded that team out very recently with one of the most exciting growth officers that we could find in our industry globally. So Ollie has joined, having helped build what is the largest footprint in corporate wellness. It was a company that was bought by Virgin Pulse, the largest in the space right now. So management-wise, we're certainly gold-plated. That trickles across the other divisions with the wider team, but those specifically. And then from a sort of a leadership and advisory function within our board, we have a really wise steward in Dr. Peter Vaughan, who's current chair of the Health Infoway division in Canada. So how the federal government is looking to innovate their approach into healthcare across Canada. We have Jacqueline, who is a finance pedigree that's worked around the world and big assets, but M&A healthcare specifically. So really nice fit with us. And then Brian Lieners, who's a co-founder of the business that we've brought together for WellteQ from an IoMT capability and a legal and finance background himself. So, those are probably a few names that you may see in some of our material. But we're domiciled around the world, and that's a beautiful thing. It also just enhances our understanding of where we are going. You can't just be a homogenous culture to then build a personalized offering. We need that full sort of inclusive think tank that we have across just those short number of individuals.
Okay, that sounds like a rock star team. So let's drill down into the data science facet and the AI facet. But can you tell the viewers a bit about that difference that in terms of where you bring to the sector relative to your peers? And are there any other differentiating points there?
Yeah, look, I think that you've got to have great technology. It's table stakes these days just to get your foot in the door. And we have some of the hardest markers and assessing teams through procurement when we supply our technology to big, large corporates and to insurance companies. They're not going to put their brand alongside a product that is not secure, that is not performant, that is not stable. So, just from a technology standpoint, that has to be there, and it obviously is for our tenure and our expansion. When you look at some of the tools that we integrate, AI and ML, absolutely. We have to put those two, and they're very different functionalities in what they do. One more so with breadth, which is sort of a problem-solving function, if you can loosely describe that as artificial intelligence. And then when you want to go really deep, and an example here is seeking for comorbidity correlations. For example, how does mental health fit with sleep patterns and also different activity patterns throughout your daily cycle? So those are two functions that we certainly pride ourselves on and building out. Of course, these technologies are never finished. And so that's what the team's working at. But I think it's all about how you use and what quality data that you have. And again, I think that when you look at a cluster of data that you're going to analyze and interrogate for personalization, it's got to be broad, right? So if we're looking at sleep patterns in Vietnam compared to India, compared to Australia, that gives us a really, really wide reach into the breadth of our data. And that's valued because it means that we're getting truly holistic approaches and patterns that we can identify through those AI ML tools. And then, you also look at the different types of data that you get. So it's not just all about questionnaire-driven data, or, clinical metric tools, wearable data. If you choose one of these, you can get a lot. But when you start pulling them together with things like HR data, NPS or Net Promoter Score, through meteorological information, weather patterns, and how that impacts some of your biometric scores, heart rate variability driven scores, you get a real rabbit hole of possibility. And that's the stuff when we solve specific problems for our corporate clients. Maybe heat stress, it may be engagement, it may be sleep and mental health programs, it may be activity, but it's the breadth and the quality of that data that we need to apply these tools to. So I think the tools is one part of it, but you've got to have a great foundation of that data.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff. Tell us about the any further milestones that you might have as a public company, and what should investors be looking for in the next coming months?
Yeah, sure. I mean, and we're coming off a great momentum in 2020. So we're following that trend, and now we're putting our recent $9.5 million capital raise with Canaccord and Gravitas to great use. So that's going into people building out that team to bring more velocity, to bring more sales and marketing. So some of those milestones will be new clients, will be new territories, and to come together with what we've done here, we're already acquisitive in our approach. So we have certain target profiles that we'll be seeking for an inorganic expansion as well across very complementary capabilities to come into our world.
Okay, that's great. So we are here with Scott Montgomery, who's CEO of WellteQ Digital Health. The ticker symbol is WTEQ on the CSE. Thanks very much and best of luck.
Total pleasure. Great to be on the CSE, and thank you guys for being so welcoming. Exciting time.
Thank you for tuning in to another newly listed on the CSE. Please feel free to hit like and share this content and hit subscribe if you haven't already.